The Roman Republic, once a beacon of stability and prosperity, was shaken to its core by a series of bloody civil wars. These wars were not just battles for territory, but fierce struggles for power and control over the future of Rome. These conflicts, spanning over a century, transformed Rome from a republic into an empire. The transition was marked by significant changes in governance, military structure, and societal norms. The seeds of discord were sown by power struggles, shifting military loyalties, and the declining authority of the Senate. Political infighting became rampant, and the once unified Senate was now a battleground of competing interests. Ambitious generals wielding powerful armies challenged the traditional power structures of Rome. These military leaders, driven by personal ambition, sought to carve out their own legacies. The very foundations of the Republic were crumbling, setting the stage for an era of unprecedented upheaval. The once mighty structures of Roman governance and society were now vulnerable to collapse. The Roman Republic, once a symbol of shared power and civic duty, was slowly being torn apart by internal divisions. These divisions were not just political, but also social and economic, affecting every layer of Roman society. The Senate, traditionally the governing body of Rome, found its authority waning as powerful generals emerged, their ambitions fueled by military glory and political maneuvering. The balance of power was shifting dramatically. The loyalty of the legions, once beholden to Rome itself, shifted towards these charismatic leaders who promised them land, riches, and a share in their victories. This shift in loyalty was a critical factor in the Republic's decline. The stage was set for a clash of ideologies and ambitions, a struggle that would determine the fate of Rome itself. This epic conflict would reshape the ancient world and leave a lasting legacy on history. The first major conflict erupted between Gaius Marius, a military genius and a man of the people, and Lucius Cornelius Sulla. Marius, a skilled general and champion of the people, rose to prominence through his military successes and his support for extending Roman citizenship to the Italian allies. His reforms aimed to make Rome more inclusive and fair. His rival, Sulla, was a staunch conservative and a staunch defender of the traditional privileges of the Roman aristocracy. Sulla believed in maintaining the status quo and the power of the Senate. He viewed Marius's populist reforms with suspicion and saw him as a threat to the established order. The tension between them grew as their political and personal animosities deepened. Their rivalry escalated into open warfare when Sulla, defying the Senate, marched his army on Rome to crush a rebellion in the east. This unprecedented act shocked the Roman world. Marius, stripped of his command by Sulla's political maneuvering, was forced into exile. He fled, but his spirit remained unbroken. However, Marius was not finished. He returned to Rome with a vengeance, unleashing a reign of terror that saw his political enemies brutally purged. His return marked a period of intense violence and retribution. Sulla, victorious in the east, returned to find Rome in chaos. The city was in turmoil and the streets were filled with fear and uncertainty. He responded with even greater brutality, crushing Marius's supporters and assuming the mantle of dictator. Sulla's actions were ruthless and decisive. Sulla's dictatorship, though brief, set a dangerous precedent, demonstrating the fragility of the Republic in the face of military might. His rule left a lasting impact on Roman politics and the future of the Republic. Following Sulla's death, the Roman Republic experienced a brief respite from civil war. However, this peace was fragile and short-lived. The underlying tensions remained, simmering beneath the surface, and a new generation of ambitious leaders emerged to vie for power and control. Among these leaders were Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, known as Pompey the Great, and Gaius Julius Caesar, two of the most formidable figures of their time. Pompey, a celebrated general, secured his reputation through numerous military triumphs in the East, earning the admiration and loyalty of his soldiers. Meanwhile, Caesar rose to prominence through his conquest of Gaul, demonstrating his strategic genius and expanding Rome's territories significantly. Initially allies, Caesar and Pompey's relationship soured as their ambitions clashed and their mutual distrust grew. The Senate, fearful of Caesar's growing power and influence, ordered him to disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen, hoping to curb his ambitions. Caesar, unwilling to relinquish his hard-won power and the loyalty of his legions, made a fateful decision that would change the course of history. In 49 BC, he crossed the Rubicon River, the boundary between Roman Italy and Cisalpine Gaul, an act tantamount to declaring war on Rome itself. This bold move was a point of no return. This single act plunged the Republic into another bloody civil war, with the fate of Rome hanging in the balance. Caesar's legions, hardened by years of campaigning in Gaul, proved more than a match for Pompey's forces, showcasing their superior training and loyalty. The decisive clash came at the Battle of Pharsalus in 48 BC, where Caesar's tactical brilliance outmaneuvered Pompey, leading to a crushing defeat for the Pompeian forces and altering the power dynamics in Rome. Pompey, his power broken and his forces scattered, fled to Egypt, where he was treacherously assassinated upon his arrival, marking a tragic end to his storied career. Caesar, victorious but wary of further threats, pursued his former ally to Egypt, where he became entangled in Egyptian politics and began a relationship with Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, further intertwining the fates of Rome and Egypt. Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, at the hands of senators fearing his growing power and ambition, threw the Republic into chaos once again. The conspirators, led by Brutus and Cassius, believed they were saving the Republic from tyranny. Instead, they unleashed a new wave of instability and violence. From the turmoil emerged two key figures: Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal lieutenant, and Octavian, Caesar's great-nephew and adopted heir. Initially, Antony and Octavian cooperated to eliminate their common enemies, the assassins of Caesar. However, their alliance, born of necessity, soon crumbled under the weight of their own ambitions. Antony, captivated by the Egyptian Queen Cleopatra, formed an alliance with her, further alienating himself from the Roman Senate and people. The final showdown between Antony and Octavian took place at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC. This naval battle off the coast of Greece proved to be a turning point in Roman history. Octavian's fleet, commanded by the skilled Admiral Agrippa, outmaneuvered and destroyed the combined forces of Antony and Cleopatra. Defeated and despairing, Antony and Cleopatra fled back to Egypt. With Octavian's forces closing in, they both committed suicide, choosing death over surrender and humiliation. With his rivals eliminated, Octavian stood as the undisputed master of Rome. Section 6, A Time of Troubles, the Year of the Four Emperors. Octavian, later taking the name Augustus, ushered in a new era for Rome, the Roman Empire. He skillfully consolidated his power, transforming the Roman state into a monarchy disguised as a republic. The Pax Romana, a period of unprecedented peace and prosperity, followed the turmoil of the civil wars. However, the stability of the empire was not absolute. The Year of the Four Emperors, following the death of Nero in 68 AD, demonstrated the fragility of the empire's foundations. Four generals, Galba, Otho, Vitellius and Vespasian, each claiming the imperial throne, plunged the empire into a brief but bloody civil war. Vespasian, a seasoned general who had secured victories in Judea, emerged victorious, establishing the Flavian dynasty. Section 7, the Severan dynasty, from chaos to stability briefly. The Flavian dynasty, though relatively short-lived, restored stability to the Roman Empire. However, the assassination of the Emperor Commodus in 192 AD triggered another period of turmoil. Septimius Severus, a general of North African origin, emerged victorious from the ensuing civil wars, establishing the Severan dynasty. The Severan dynasty, marked by both stability and internal strife, would rule the Roman Empire for several decades, navigating internal rebellions and external threats. The civil wars of this period, though less well known than those of the late Republic, highlight the ongoing challenges of maintaining unity and stability within a vast and diverse empire. Section 8, The Price of Ambition, the Legacies of Civil War. The Roman civil wars left an indelible mark on the Roman world. The Republic, already weakened by internal divisions and external pressures, could not withstand the onslaught of ambition and military might. The rise of powerful generals, culminating in the emergence of Augustus as the first Roman emperor, marked a fundamental shift in Roman governance. The legions, once the defenders of the Republic, became kingmakers, their loyalty determining the fate of emperors. The Roman people, accustomed to the freedoms and privileges of citizenship, found themselves ruled by emperors, their lives and destinies intertwined with the whims of absolute rulers. The civil wars, though devastating, ultimately paved the way for the Roman Empire, a period of unprecedented peace, prosperity, and cultural achievement. Section 9. Conclusion: the end of an era, the dawn of another. The Roman civil wars represent a pivotal period in Roman history, a time of both destruction and transformation. The Republic, once a symbol of shared power and civic virtue, gave way to the Empire, ruled by emperors who held absolute power. The legacies of these conflicts, from the rise of the emperors to the changing role of the army, continue to shape the course of Roman history for centuries to come. The Roman civil wars serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition, the corrosive effects of political instability, and the enduring allure of power. They remind us that even the most enduring institutions can crumble under the weight of internal divisions and external pressures. Yet, from the ashes of the Republic arose the Roman Empire, a testament to the resilience of the Roman spirit and the enduring legacy of Roman civilization.